364. That was the number that I picked for my first vault. That's because my trip into the Fallout universe wasn't in the Capital Wasteland or the Mojave like most. It was in Fallout Shelter, a free mobile game that was also on like PlayStation and stuff that I just played for hours with my sister. Constantly setting rooms on fire, sending our dwellers into the wasteland, and just protecting everyone. Oftentimes, I would just zoom into rooms and listen to jazzy music that played because I just adored the retro-futuristic vibe. So my little brain started dreaming about making a survival game that was set after a nuclear apocalypse because of Fallout Shelter. So obviously, I started to make one on scratch. You're looking at the creative genius behind such smash hits like these.
Fire.
Whatever this passion project of Twisted Metal and all these ones. And then, of course, the actual game that I made that was quite literally just called The Fallout. You can look in the top left corner. You'll see I credited Fallout Shelter. I was an idiot. Sorry. So one day, while I was in the process of developing this masterpiece, I decided to go scrolling on YouTube. I found out that this was already a game because I saw some gameplay of it or whatever, and I was ecstatic. I begged my dad to buy it. Please let me buy this game because it was so cheap. And I was so excited to load up and finally play 60 seconds. This was basically what I was trying to make. And while I wish the game would have been more open world, you can't really expect a Bethesda game like Skyrim from indie devs. So I just continued to play. I spent literal hours in this game, and I never even beat it. That's the crazy part. So one night I hopped on my PS4 to check on Vault 364, and that's when I saw it. The notification in the top right corner, Fallout 4, ready to play. I mean, it didn't really look like that. I wish I had a screenshot of what the PS4 install notification looked like. Anyways, so then I ran upstairs and I asked my dad if he knew of this Fallout 4, and it turns out that my dad was actually the one that had bought it, and he had been waiting for it to come out. And I begged him, please, if I could play it, regardless of the M rating for mature audiences. Oh, God. And he said the greatest words that a father can say. Just don't tell your mom. I loaded it up, and there was that "please stand by," followed by some of the coolest armor that I had ever seen in my life. My excitement was immeasurable. I made my character, I did the whole intro, survived the bomb.
Oh my God!
I just watched my wife get killed and my son taken. And when I stepped out of Vault 111 for the very first time, seeing the destroyed Sanctuary Hills, I was oblivious to the incredible world that just stood before me. A world filled with choices, exploration, morality, and, quite frankly, amazing atmosphere. And that world immediately pulled me in.
I don't want to set the world.
If you play any Fallout game, the first thing you notice is the atmosphere. It's really unlike anything else. Taking place after a nuclear war, you explore a world that has a haunting mix of ruined cities, the empty wasteland, and remnants of a civilization that once thrived. But what makes Fallout stand out even more is this weird 50s retro-futuristic vibe you get. It's essentially based on what people in the 50s thought the future would be like, because of the Cold War in the late 40s, where basically everyone was scared of getting nuked. So essentially you get this, what if the future looked like that, and what if we actually got nuked?
Oh my God!
The result is, well, Fallout, and it is an amazing atmosphere. You get Nuka-Cola ads plastered everywhere in that classic style, the retro-futuristic cities like Lexington and Fallout 4, old 50s tunes that play on the radios, like the Ink Spots, probably the most classic Fallout band ever. The cars look great too. All of this separates Fallout from being an average, boring, post-apocalyptic game. Fallout wouldn't be nearly as popular if it wasn't for this type of aesthetic, or at least in my opinion. It's what drew a lot of people to the game, like me. Mixed with that is the darkness of the wasteland. It's not afraid to have really dark themes or violent elements. And to me, the Capital Wasteland of Fallout 3 is the perfect display of this darkness. Walking through places like Springvale School and seeing the child skeletons, or the metro stations of Fallout 3 and the ghouls with the eerie emptiness. And how could you forget the cannibal family of Andale that feels straight out of a horror movie? I think what makes this so great, though, is that all these places are simply found from just exploring the wasteland. It gives you an idea of the horror that the world has become. It's a fantastic atmosphere. It really captures a true wasteland. Fallout 1 also has a great atmosphere, leaning more into that horror element. And while it may be harder for people to connect to it because of its age, it really captures that sense of hopelessness. Every little settlement feels like it's clinging to life. And to me, that's what makes Fallout atmosphere so powerful. It's this collision between cheerful, optimistic retrofuturism in a world that's brutally unforgiving. One moment you're looking at a Nuka-Cola billboard with Vault Boy giving a thumbs up, or that probably wouldn't be in the same billboard, but you know what I mean. The next, you're standing into a school full of skeletons. God damn it, that was a weird tongue twister. Earlier, though, I mentioned the 50s tunes, and that's because the music of Fallout is also a huge part of the atmosphere. The old radio songs are woven into the experience, and it makes it unforgettable. Hearing I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire as you wander Fallout 3 on Galaxy News Radio, or Big Iron as you trek across the Mojave, it's the kind of stuff that sticks with you, and the music is just, it adds to it so much. Even the TV show leaned heavily on this because it's such a big part of what makes Fallout's atmosphere come alive. Exploring the wasteland in Fallout is a pretty significant factor of the game. Walking through the wasteland, seeing the destroyed places that once were, finding every little detail, Fallout has this way of rewarding curiosity. You see a building in the distance while on a quest or something, and you wander inside of it, and suddenly you're uncovering its story. With exploration comes scavenging too, which to me is super fun to just look for stuff, looking for stim packs, armor, holotapes. Personally, I think Fallout 4 does an amazing job at this, and it's the most fun game to explore in. It may be buggy, but the Boston ruins are really good looking, even if sometimes your PC can barely handle it. To be honest, it's kind of hard for me to explain that feeling of exploration, so I'm going to give you some examples of my favorite exploration moments in Fallout, specifically targeting the fourth game first. While going towards a quest one time, I came across this marketplace-looking area with a giant Mr. Handyman. I quickly made my way there to see what was up with it. It turns out, this place was the General Atomics Galleria. It was made in pre-war times, and the Galleria was meant to be a demonstration of what a town's commercial district would look like if it were run entirely by robots. It's run by only Mr. Handys and Mr. Gutsies. You can't help but feel some sort of empathy for the robots as they are entirely oblivious to the war. There are little shops in this place, like Madden's Gym, a place with a boxing ring where you can box the champ, the previous champion of all the robots, or the General Atomics outlet, where you can walk into the shop ran by robots and watch a demonstration. Handy Eats is a one-room diner entirely run by two Mr. Handys. It's super cool to explore and see what it could have been. The Back Alley Bowling, the department store with the control freak Mr. Handy, and meeting the director of this place after hearing his voice scream at you the whole time.
The Galleria is closed by order of the director.
Only to learn that a director was supposed to show up but hasn't for 275 years. I mean, he's dead, but you know what I mean? Exploring and learning these stories and seeing these seemingly forgotten places. Lexington is a great example too, walking around it, looking at this absolute peak retrofuturism, seeing the billboards, walking into the destroyed buildings, even if stuff like this can happen. I think all Fallout games are good in this aspect. Fallout 3's Capital Wasteland is amazing to explore, finding places like Andale, mentioned earlier, with the cannibal family and learning their story. New Vegas' Mojave Wasteland is always fun to explore, with the old western tunes on your radio, walking along the deserts, finding little settlements like Novak or, well, not Good Springs because you spawned in there, but even the strip itself is super fun to just find out. The classic Fallouts also have some great exploring, even if it can be a little clunky. Like I said, all Fallout games are good at this, but I just think 4 excels the most, and exploration just really makes Fallout come alive as well. I know I probably ruffled some feathers showing Fallout 76 as the face of combat, but realistically, I mean, it is less clunky, and to be honest, it's mainly just to keep that Fallout aesthetic for the video, so don't look too deep into it. I will say New Vegas, Fallout 4, 76 are all the best combat-wise. The only thing I can really say for 3 when it comes to combat is that it's pretty horrible gunplay. Yeah, sorry Fallout 3. But regardless, the best thing about the combat in Fallout is obviously Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System, or VATS. Targeting the head and watching time slow down while your bullets fly to the enemy in slow motion is some of the most fun combat you'll ever have. If you don't know what VATS is, it's essentially this mode you can enter where time slows down and you can target a specific body part and it sends your bullet flying there in slow motion. VATS is seriously some amazing combat, and the critical hits are amazing. It's fun to use in every single Fallout game, and with every single weapon, even melee is fun to use in VATS, with the creative hits. That was a weird way to say it, but speaking of the weapons, though, I think even if Fallout has some goofy sci-fi weapons. Okay, let me just restart. I think even if Fallout has some goofy sci-fi weapons, they're still amazing. Guns like the classic 10mm pistol, which you basically start with in every single Fallout game. The giant assault rifle, the combat shotgun. Well, those are pretty basic ones, but each of these guns is fun to use in combat, even if you have no iron sights, like in Fallout 3. The melee is pretty awesome too, but when it comes to melee, I think there's one obvious winner here, the Ripper. It's genuinely one of the coolest things ever. The high damage per second and getting real up and personal makes it so special. But you can't forget stuff like the Super Sledge, Power Fist, the Lead Pipe, and the Deathclaw Gauntlet. Another great thing when it comes to combat is the power armor, specifically in Fallout 4 and 76. It definitely feels like real invincible power armor. I legit felt like Iron Man the first time I used it in the first quest on Fallout 4. In most Fallout games, you leave or even escape a vault designed to withstand a nuclear apocalypse. These vaults were created by a company named Vault-Tec, a pre-war corporation which got federal government contracts to implement a network of vaults. As it turns out, pretty much every single vault was an experiment on the human population. Behind this company, though, is so much lore found throughout the Fallout games, with corruption everywhere. This kind of world building is so good, and it's another reason of why I love Fallout so much. Pre-war companies are everywhere, like Nuka-Cola, which mass-produced so much Nuka-Cola that the bottle caps from them became the wasteland's currency of bartering. You find posters of Nuka-Cola and Nuka-Cola bottles out as well. They were constantly experimenting with addictive formulas and even creating Nuka-Cola Quantum, which literally glows because it's so radioactive. Going through facilities like General Atomics and learning about this company and the people that made the Mr. Handy robots like Codsworth. Finding the pre-war food items like sugar bombs, Blamco mac and cheese. Finding out that there are real companies with detailed lore behind them about these companies. It makes it way more immersive, even if it's just this tiny detail. Another huge name is Robco Industries, founded by Robert House, the same Robert House who later became the ruler of New Vegas. Robco basically powered America before the war. Their terminals are everywhere. Factions like the Enclave, Brotherhood of Steel, Caesar's Legion. It's a ton of really good polished world building. When it comes to storytelling, though, New Vegas takes the cake for me. He plays the courier, shot in the head and left for dead while carrying a mysterious platinum chip. From there, you're thrown into a power struggle between the NCR, Caesar's Legion, and Mr. House, with the future of the Mojave hanging in the balance. What makes it so good is about the ideologies and you deciding who should shape the Mojave's future, or if you should take it for yourself. The writing and the dialogue is amazing in New Vegas, each character really having a unique backstory. Some of my favorite quests from other Fallout games, like Fallout 3 with Tranquility Lane. You talk to this girl named Betty inside this vault simulation. She tells you to make a kid cry. Okay, cool. Then you're coming up with a creative death for Mabel and turning into the pint-sized slasher and killing everyone. It's a gruesomely fun quest, showing off Fallout's dark humor. While unpopular, I do like Fallout 4's main questline. I liked breaking out of Skinny Malone's gang to save Valentine, going to kill Kellogg, joining a faction to destroy the Institute. Fallout 3's main quest is kinda but I still do like it. And Fallout 1's story is super straightforward, but honestly works perfectly. You're the Vault Dweller, sent out to find a water chip to save your vault. Simple setup, but it turns into this unforgettable journey across the wasteland, where you end up facing the Master and his army. Fallout 2, on the other hand, I respect it, but it kind of feels like a Fallout parody. You play as the Chosen One, tasked with saving your tribe by finding the Gek. It's got some amazing quests and moments, but sometimes it gets weighed down by too many pop culture references and a story that isn't as tight as the first game. Still though, it really expanded the world in a huge way, so I have to respect it. Brownie points. 10 out of 10. If you made it this far, I just want to give you real thanks. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like content like this, consider following and liking the video, or not following, subscribing, you know what I meant. This has been Why I Love Fallout, and maybe now you do too. Leaving the Vault, signing off.